Today on Won't You Be My Gamer, we are playing This or That, making pickles and burning down a forest, and joined by Leah Thomas, who is an environmental educator and just all-around cool person. Thanks for being here, Leah.
Thank you.
Nicole, what are we playing?
We are playing Terra Nil. You've been asking for it, and we're going to deliver, and we're going to save the environment with your help.
First question, Leah, how do you feel broadly about terraforming? Because that's what we're going to be doing. How do you feel about a planet that's so destroyed that it needs to be rebuilt from the ground up?
It's so depressing, but I do actually watch a lot of sci-fi stuff, so I'm really excited to just see what's going on.
Oh yeah, which I guess this is essentially, right, Nicole?
Yeah, totally. And isn't all sci-fi just like us?
Being our own minds.
Yeah. Just us in space?
Yeah, after destroying the planet. So seems on brand.
Yeah, and so that happened. This planet has been destroyed, and we are going to be tasked with fixing it up, healing it.
I like it. This is a cute little book, too.
Isn't it cute? So we got our starting out objectives, create biomes, recruit animals, have climates, but we're going to start out with just restoring some dirt.
Leah, you're trying to bring awareness in your work to how we can avoid this happening, but also in ways that are intersectional and good for everyone, right?
Yeah, I try. I think starting local is really important because just the big picture of climate catastrophe is just so depressing. But I feel like if you do things in your own neighborhood, go to your community garden, work with, local orgs, learn how to mend and sew, that's a way to feel empowered.
Nicole, your new society will all have to know how to sew.
We'll have to.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a female-led matriarchal society that I'm going to lead, and
Love it.
sewing classes will be there. We'll be above taxes, but if we had them, I would teach the kids how to do it. Controversial. So this is our small auto-generated map, and we're going to start planting some turbines, because without turbines, we're not going to have the ability to power
Okay,
anything.
so I'm already confused because this is a wasteland, but somehow you have the materials for turbines.
Yeah. Explain that one. Yes, but I am some sort of alien life form entity that has these resources, and I'm trying to use my resources for good.
So it says try to fit 4 toxin scrubbers as far from... What is a toxin scrubber?
So toxin scrubbers are these red guys here, and so they connect to the turbines because the turbines are powering them, and in that zone that they are in, that cleans the toxins from the soil.
Nice.
Yeah. So this thing you'll see, it's going to be really feel good. Watch. Whoa, look at that. So it spreads the seed and it waters the plants, and we're just very quickly making this land better.
This is beautiful. I really wish it were that easy.
Right?
That simple.
And solved.
Wow. It gives you hope too, because I feel like the kids need this. They need to see that with innovation we can make things better.
Yeah, and I feel like right now a lot of the conversation is I have friends that say things like, it's irresponsible to have children right now because the earth is failing. And it's well, for everyone alive, we should be saying more positive things.
Yeah.
Make it seem like it's a problem that we can solve together, even if it is a hard problem to solve.
Very difficult one. But I'm sure someone out there could make something like this.
What is kind of that current discourse or conversation about underpopulation versus overpopulation? Because I feel like there's always some headline in the news about that.
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of those conversations start to almost have either racial connotations or kind of discrimination against lower income folks or folks in the global south, because it's is that really our biggest problem, or is the oil that we're pumping? Is that the problem? Is all the stuff that we're putting into the earth? We actually have enough food to feed everybody on earth. We're just wasting it all the time, which is so sad, especially in the United States. So I feel like the biggest problem is definitely not relying on fossil fuels.
You're doing what Leah said, start locally.
Wow, start local.
Yeah. And so I have this whole map here that I need to bring life to. There's definitely a more efficient way of playing this game. I'm playing on Gardener. I'm here for a relaxing time.
Just chilling out.
Not a challenging time. And that's just true of me in general.
So does it progress beyond setting up the turbines and the toxin scrubbers?
That's going to be a huge part of it, but from there, I'll want to eventually burn it all down at some point, so I can, from the ash, build more stronger forests, and eventually I'll have access to beehives, and I'll be able to put beehives in some trees.
Did I see something there about a riverbed, Nicole?
Yes.
Oh, what's happening? We can make a river.
So using this water pump, we can fill riverbeds and, fill up some river. Are we there yet?
We have a game within the game that we want to play. We're all about games here. I'm going to be my gamer, obviously. On our board called This or That, where we thought it'd be fun to ask you a question, pose you some options, this or that, and see how you feel. And it can be your opinion, Leah, or if you're like, oh, I think that this would be just better for humanity or society in general. So our categories are overconsumption, energy, transportation, food, and fashion.
Whoa. Do I have to pick?
Yes, and there's no way to win this game. Okay, I'll tell you that now.
There are
just
no
for fun.
winners here.
Let's start with fashion.
Okay, do fashion 1
Oh, fashion
for
1.
0 points.
Fashion 1 for 0 points.
All right, this or that. Natural fibers or synthetic fibers?
I'm going to go with natural fibers because like polyester, which is plastic, which comes from fossil fuels, takes forever to biodegrade, or a similar word for biodegrade is like decompose or break down in a landfill. So if you get a shirt that's made out of polyester, it could take up to 1,000 years to disappear if it's in a landfill. But if you get something made from a natural fiber like wool, that won't take nearly as long.
Isn't there a whole thing where the world's cotton supply is changed because of climate change? So now, like, even the cotton that we're using to make clothes and bedding, etc., all kinds of materials is like not as good.
It's not as good as it used to be, and that's because of like fast fashion. Like we're just making things so quickly to keep up with trends. And honestly, I just think everybody needs to learn how to sew. Because you can go to the thrift store, make what you want, get a shirt.
Well, we used to have businesses where you would repair things. Like you would go to the shoe repair place. You'd actually fix things. And I feel like now we are more in this fast consumption phase where we're not fixing things. We're just like, oh, I'll replace it.
Yeah.
I'll order it on Amazon.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll just buy a new one. Yeah.
The quality's just gone down like so much.
There's a note here that synthetic fibers do use less water to get produced. But like you said, like those are all microplastics. Can you talk a little bit to the problems that microplastics are posing to us in the environment?
So I saw the statistic that like it's either 0.05 or 0.5. If it's 0.5, I'm scared. But our brains now have like that amount of plastic because of all of the plastic that we're inhaling and eating, and it's just on us all the time. So we don't really know what it's going to do in terms of our health. They need to research a little bit more. But the fact that our brains are literally plastic, like we are now plastic.
Filled with it.
And the ocean is also filled with plastic. And it's just so teeny tiny. Like some microplastics, you can't even see it unless it's under a little like microscope. And then other pieces are a little bit bigger, but it's when your clothing sheds or like plastic sheds, like every time you wash something.
And we don't have an effective way to like purify that, do we? Or
not really. It's really just everywhere. So it's almost like how do we adapt to it because it's everywhere, but who knows what kind of harm that might cause by just like plastic running around in our bloodstreams.
When I think about microplastics, my brain automatically thinks about lead. My brain filled with microplastics thinks about lead and lead poisoning and just a lot of these chemicals and synthetic materials that we didn't realize would have these negative impacts on us.
So we got some deer.
Oh my god.
Our first deer. This is Shadow.
Did you name Shadow, or is that
What's his name? Yeah, and these things flying must be bugs, yeah.
Ew.
Yeah, not ideal.
Yeah.
If I could play God more forcefully, they'd be gone. But we got our first residents. That means we're doing a pretty good job cleaning up. I think something that is a bummer about microplastics is that comic books have so thoroughly covered nuclear waste and all that to the point where it's like, I could get superpower. There's so many scenarios where nuclear waste leads to good.
Yes.
We haven't gotten there yet with our microplastic media.
No. In reality, it's like cancer.
Yeah, it's same with the nuclear waste though, but we still were like Spider-Man.
I don't love nuclear, but people are talking about it.
People want to reactivate California's nuclear power. Yeah. I think the argument is it can create a lot of clean energy, faster and for more people than other traditional routes. with, huge consequences.
What are kind of the main tenets of intersectional environmentalism?
I would say always thinking about the who in addition to the what of an environmental problem. So like the what might be, for example, like there's a toxic waste site or facility, or I don't know, like the water, like water's polluted. That's the what, that's the issue. But then always asking the question, like who is being affected by it? So if it's a polluted waterway, like are there fishermen who rely on that waterway and they're being impacted? Are there surrounding communities that rely on it for like their food and things like that? Is the waterway polluted because of farmers actually and like runoff that's going into it? So really just looking at like who's being impacted and who's being impacted maybe unequally or overburdened and things like that.
And who the actors are as well.
And just making sure everybody has a seat at the table in decision-making processes. So even if it is something like green energy, which is historically really good, like making sure it's not harming communities. Like lithium mining, for example, we need lithium for electric car batteries and things like that. Again, oftentimes it's in, the Lithium Triangle, which is by Argentina, and it's like specifically next to indigenous communities whose waterways are being polluted because we really like electric cars now. So just making sure that, green energy doesn't come at the cost of, lower income or marginalized communities.
What, if anything, is being done in that triangle to kind of combat that exploitation?
Some of it is making sure the communities benefit from it financially, and then also making sure to routinely do like water testing, air quality testing, etc. It happens sometimes, it doesn't happen other times, and then also making sure people have employment opportunities and things like that. So there's hope.
What is and you probably don't know the answer to this because they probably won't release this information, but I wonder what the environmental cost of theme parks are.
Oh, it's bad. Oh my
It must
God,
be
it's so
bad.
bad. Yeah, it's not great, but I mean, a cost-benefit analysis, especially for California, like it employs a lot of people as well. So there's some positives. Tourism, I'm sure there's some taxes that are probably going. But I mean, even the fireworks alone, when they're doing them every night, like I do want people to be happy. Like I never want to be that environmentalist that's like, no, we need to shut down the festivals and all those sorts of things, because at the end of the day, I would rather have fireworks at Disneyland than like oil being pumped out of the ground.
Yes, give me that choice every day.
Yeah. But it's not the best.
Is that just a constant internal struggle you have, trying to do right by the environment and weighing that cost-benefit analysis of like, well, I still have to live, and I have to live in this society?
Yeah, and I think as I've gotten older, I've kind of chilled out a little bit. And again, I'm like, well, people deserve to be happy. Joy is so important. And again, like most of the issues that we're facing are because of other larger systems like oil, transportation. If we simply made our planes run on like renewable energy,
Then you wouldn't feel guilty about flying.
right?
Yeah.
So there's so many
I'm
things.
going to start a fire for good.
Oh, fire for good. Sorry.
You're right,
Control
it's a
burn.
little weird.
Control burn.
Yeah, I'm going to activate this. It is a solar amplifier. And let's see if we can burn this place down a little for good.
For good. Controlled burns are good. We actually need them more in Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's another example of like the
Oh.
indigenous community knowing what to do.
That looks scary.
Isn't that scary?
Oh, is that how it ends?
No. I'm just causing a little fire.
Game over.
Just a little baby fire.
It's pretty big. It's spreading pretty fast.
They're automatically generated maps, so when I did this before, it didn't burn this much.
Why is it doing that?
I'm not mad yet.
Oh my gosh.
dramatic.
And Nicole, will it stop at the river?
No.
See?
No, I'm just kidding.
We'll see. I haven't unlocked
Oh.
bridges yet, so.
Okay, it's dying out. It's dying
dying out.
out.
Whoa.
But then from there, oh, you guys aren't going to believe this. We're going to build forests.
Oh.
Okay.
That would take hundreds of years, but it's okay.
Yeah, because we're in alien science magic.
Let beauty come out of ashes. Celine Dion. Leah, I saw on Instagram that you were at the regenerative flea market.
Yes.
What is that?
Yes, my friend Summer, aka Climate Diva, who I'm just gonna plug, I think should have a PBS show. She's amazing. Climate Diva and some friends did a little flea market where they were all sustainable artisans, and I do ceramics and crafts for fun. That's how I stay sane while like researching about the environment. So yeah, it was my first time doing a pop-up and selling my ceramic pendants.
Is that like part of your environmental journey to say, I want to make my own sustainable jewelry?
Yeah, I've been trying to, I don't know, I feel like the trad wives are kind of eating us up. in the like crunchy granola.
We gotta
space.
fight back.
We need to fight back.
I can make bread too.
No, seriously. I was kind of like, why? Like, where are all of the more like eco girlies?
Yeah.
So I started like, making bread, making jewelry, trying to mend and sew, pickling, making jam.
Okay. All right. Hold up. Pickle moment here on One Gamer. Tell us about the pickling.
I love a bread and butter pickle.
Same.
Yeah, sweet and little savory, a little spicy. Pickling, I do a vinegar pickle.
Ceramics and pickles? Does she make her own jars?
Bringing the worlds together.
Jars are hard to come by, so I think that would be really good if you could now tackle jars.
That would actually be really cute. I'm actually going to take a woodshop workshop next.
Oh, wow. That's another class that should be in high school still.
I agree. Like all of these things that I'm learning now, I feel like everybody should know.
All these
do
tactile skills.
My mom learned how to sew in high school. Like it was at Burbank High. Yeah, there was a home ec type of class.
Hand sew or on a machine?
Both.
Oh wow. See,
We need that.
I can sew by hand, but I don't know how to use a machine, and it's something that I've been interested in
easy.
recently.
It's in the technology right now. Like when I was taking a sewing class, it literally threads the needle for you.
I was looking at some of those brother machines where it's like you just drop it in and it does it for you. And I thought, why am I
so
not
easy.
doing this? Like it's almost like capitalism is encouraging us not to do these things.
Yeah.
Almost like that.
Should we do an overconsumption
Yeah.
one for our hour this and that, since we're kind of on that topic, I feel like.
Do it. Ooh.
Okay. Metal straw or paper straw?
I don't like the way paper straws disintegrate into mush after, quick 5 minutes. So I do prefer a little metal straw.
Yeah, it's like I was drinking juice, now I'm having a smoothie.
Right?
You know? What happened here?
What's happening now?
Yeah, Nicole, what are you doing?
So I'm trying to reach my goals. And so I've got enough wetland, I've got enough forest, but I don't have enough finbos, which, I'm not even sure how to solve this problem.
I don't even want to say I don't know what that is, but
I don't know what your problem is.
I've never.
Let's see if we can give
What
some
is
more
that?
trees bees. I'm kind of just looking around to see if there's things that I can add. Like this right here is a cloud seeder to try and increase the humidity. But I've kind of put them wherever I can. Yeah, so should I burn?
Is that okay, it's toxic?
Well, I just am not making the progress I want to be making, and therefore I might choose chaos.
She's always going scorched earth.
Yeah.
I know about her.
Is straws making a huge impact, or is it just like a small thing that we can do?
Our straws this smoke screen for the bigger problems.
Because I'm team straws, because I have sensitive little teeth.
Yeah. I love a
so
straw.
I love a straw.
It makes a difference though. Like I want people to let that little critic out of your brain, or if you meet somebody, there's always, and I know a lot of these people, they're like the environmental conspiracy people. And they're just so jaded, and I love them, and I understand why they're that way. But when people are like, oh, your straws don't matter, this doesn't matter, everything matters. Even if it's helping like 0.0000001%, that's still helping. So yeah, not using plastic straws is helpful. If you're able to, there's bio-based plastics that are sometimes compostable. And then there's also like, silicone, reusable. There's just so many reusable straw options that are out there. I like glass. That's actually my favorite.
One of the things I really, really appreciate, especially about younger generations of people, is that it's cool to care.
It's cool to care. Like,
And it's like, why not do this little thing where you can just have empathy?
It's like, do what you can. I feel like that's the biggest thing with environmentalism. And the older I get, the more I'm like, not everybody has to be an activist. That's what I'm here for.
But there's such small ways that you don't have to be like, I'm out here tying myself to a tree.
Yeah.
But
like, I'll do it, but
Yeah.
you don't have to.
Have you ever?
No, but I'm thinking about it. Actually,
Take that TikTok audio.
I was
I'm
gonna
not
say-
going to do it, girl.
don't do it.
I did it.
I saw a headline about logging, so don't even be surprised if you see me out there.
I may have made too many wetlands and too much forest.
Wetlands are so amazing, though.
Yeah, and the animals here do like them. What we want to do is make it so that this has been healed, and yet we can still remove all of our metal. Like I have this is metal, this is metal.
Like
this
you
is
want the
metal,
turbines
this is metal.
gone ultimately,
I'll have to
right?
eventually do that, yeah. Through controlled burns, through a droid that can help me break things down. It's about healing and then healing the mess that it took to heal.
This is really deep.
Yeah.
Like,
Right?
Very.
Am I looking inward right now as I say that?
Oh.
And this is the kind of deepness that you get all the time here on Won't You Be My
Won't
Gamer.
You Be My Gamer always.
Maybe one quick this or that before we go.
Yeah, let's do it. Maybe, do you want to do food for 1? For 0?
For no points. Organic grocery store produce or non-organic local produce?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Love to support local farmers. That's really important for a lot of reasons. I feel like I can't choose. I have to, right? I'm going to say local, non-organic certified farmers because they might be farming pretty sustainably. They just don't have organic certification because maybe it could be expensive. So as a loophole, I'm going to say support the local farmers because how do you know that they're not farming organically?
That's it for today. Leah, thank you so much for joining us. How can people read your work, follow you, and see all the good stuff that you're doing?
My Instagram is Green Girl Leah, my TikTok is Green Girls World, and my website is leahthomas.com.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us, who watch, who make this possible. You can go to pbssocal.org/gamer to donate. Donations make this possible, and we are so appreciative for anything that you can give. And we just love doing this, and we love you.
And it'll help us keep the controlled fires burning.
Yeah. Keep us control. Keep the control.